As we know over here, we thinking long term, long term. How can we capitalize on this off of decades, bro? Decades and let our money work for us by investing in great companies. Okay, so according to estimates consulting, the recipients, primarily members of Generation X, those between 1965 and 1980, millennials, and Gen Z are expected to inherit some of the 106 trillion that amount, mainly from baby boomers, with the rest going to charity. So, it's saying, what could this mean for the markets? That depends on a lot of good important decisions their heirs make as they all invest all or part of their good fortune. What's up? Welcome back to J Russ TV. If you're new to my channel, hit that like, comment, subscribe button. We cover all things business, investing, and self-improvement content. That's something you're interested in. Consider subscribing, hitting that like button. You feel me? If you're returning, appreciate you tuning in already. As y'all can see by the title, we get right to it. The Great Wealth Transfer. Here's your opportunity. You know, this is something I'm not too familiar with. I've always heard of the Great Wealth Transfer the past couple of years, but I would say this last year, since I've been diving more into this one stock business I've been investing in, which I shared towards the end of the video, I've made it a big, pretty sizable position. More so last year. This year I may add to it a little more. It is down right now, roughly like 40-50%. So that's a good buying opportunity. But the Great Wealth Transfer, you know, essentially what that is, like bottom line up front, is a lot of baby boomers. I don't want to say so much the silent generation, but a lot of the baby boomers, Gen X, are retiring over this next couple decades. You know, I'll say over the next 10 to 20 years. You know, so it's like 2 decades. They're going to be retiring. They're going to be passing a lot of assets down, specifically the baby boomers to the Gen X, from what I'm seeing. But millennials are going to be a very big beneficiary of that as well. And Gen Z, you know, as time goes on. But right now, it's really, you know, that baby boomer, that Gen X and millennials are getting this big wealth transfer coming over the next 10, 20, 30 years, you know. So I want to share this article with you all real quick. But let me just do that now. But yeah, so that's a lot of money that's flowing through the system. And you know, over here, we about business, investing, and self-improvement. So, you know, I'm thinking, how can we capitalize off of this? How can I get a little chunk of this pie? You know what I mean? So done some research. I'm gonna share with you all my thought process on this, and we're gonna see if it works. May work, may not work, but the American Great Wealth Transfer is happening right before our eyes, and these only happen every so often. So we're gonna take a look at this article first by who is this by? Merrill, a Bank of America company. Okay, so Bank of America. As heirs receive trillions of dollars in assets over the next 2 decades, so 20 years, their investing preferences could create new opportunities. Some trends are already emerging. Yep. A lot of our generation, me particularly, Gen X, millennials, our investing style has changed because baby boomers, Gen X, they was able to get homes for like 50,000, and now they're worth $1 million. You feel me? Like, hey, 200,000 for a starter home, $300 for a starter home, now they're worth $1 million. We don't have that same opportunity. So my generation, we have to be strategic and put our money elsewhere, which we're going to get into further through this article. But remember that point I just told y'all. So it's been called the greatest wealth transfer in history. Nearly 124 trillion in assets are set to change hands through 2048. I'm gonna be almost 50. I'm 26 now. I'm gonna be almost 50 by 2048. As we know over here, we thinking long term. How can we capitalize on this off of decades, bro? Decades, and let our money work for us by investing in great companies. Okay, so according to estimates consulting, the recipients, primarily members of Generation X, those between 1965 and 1980, millennials, and Gen Z are expected to inherit some of the 106 trillion that amount, mainly from baby boomers, with the rest going to charity. So it's saying, what could this mean for the markets? That depends on a lot of good important decisions their heirs make as they all invest all or part of their good fortune. Will they choose a mix of stocks, bonds, cash, real estate that their boomer parents gravitated towards, or strike out in different directions? Let's see. New investments opportunities such as greater growth. Already, some clues are emerging. 72%. Y'all see this? 72% of millennial and Gen Z investors surveyed for Bank of America Private Bank 2024 Wealth Americans. It's no longer possible to achieve above average returns solely on traditional stocks and bonds. Interesting. Yeah, millennials and Gen Z surveyed. It's no longer possible to achieve above average returns solely on traditional stocks and bonds. We'll see. Traditional. It depends. It depends. But as you can see here by the numbers, the great wealth transfer, baby boomers, 6 trillion, Gen X, 39 trillion, and then millennials, 46 trillion. So they get the most. We'll get it a little later down the line, you know what I mean? But, well, actually, dang, that's crazy. So Gen Z won't even be getting through 2048, so I'll be 50. So millennials are going to be one of the biggest beneficiaries of this. Dang. But it's all dependent on family, though, too. Family dynamics, though, as well. Because, like me, I'm a Gen Z, but I'm sure I get something. But anyway, well, actually, that's a hedge right there. This is another reason, like, I'll get to that. But let's finish this article. As baby boomers increasingly lean toward giving while living, passing assets on to their children now rather than leaving them from their wills. So that's the main point I wanted to point. Some more graphs. Younger investors are less confident in traditional investments, so that's 72%, and open to alternative asset classes. Definitely more. Okay, but so that's the first article I wanted to cover. But as I can see there, baby boomers and Gen X and millennials will be the greatest beneficiaries of this wealth transfer. Over $100 trillion. Over $100 trillion of wealth is being transferred over these next 20 years. So you know, say 22 years or so, which seemed like a long time, but it ain't that long. Like, you need to position yourself right now to where you can capitalize off of this for sure. Because 10 years, you know, time be going. And I always say, go back to my how to invest for beginners. It's always good to start investing earlier. The earlier, the better, because you got compound interest, you know. So how long am I at? 7 minutes. So I wanted to go over this next article real quick as well. Let's see. Because I don't know what that article was talking about, traditional investments. I would need more clarity on that as far as Gen Z, younger generation is not really, you know, intrigued with, but no single approach. What of the heirs who do inherit? I'm reading that right. Will they be satisfied with the conventional 60-40 allocation stocks and bonds like their forebears? This is CFA Institute. Gen Z are generally seen as having the biggest appetite for risky investments, and the market returns since they came of investing age have perhaps vindicated a high risk approach, says Jack Manley, global market strategist at JP. I agree, Jack. Gen Z has had the best equity market experience of any generation. If you started investing in 2021, I started investing in 2020. Let's say you had a great year. Then you had a great year in 2023 and a credible year in 2024. It feels like you can't lose money, which is true, but don't be fooled by that. You know, now the market ain't always going to go up like this. But I kind of believe, guys, that with the AI inflection right now, we got a good 10. I think this next 10 years, this decade is going to be more of a volatile decade. You know, we haven't seen this much. This is a lot of volatility. In the past 6 from 2020 to now 2026, that's 6 years. We done had COVID, the pandemic. We had rate hikes, stagflation. We had tariffs. We got the war, Russia, Ukraine. This jump now. It's a lot of up and downs. Like, this is volatile, but people have made a lot of money though as well. which is why I think it's going to continue through 2030, both up and both down. But if you invest in the right companies, this is a good decade versus the 2030s and beyond. AI will be a little bit more, wouldn't be as accelerated as far as infrastructure wise, like it is now, investing in these companies now, while the infrastructure growth is increasing. But we're at an inflection point where AI kind of just, we in AI backpack right now. Like it's growing fast. It's booming really quick. So yeah, as you can see right here, baby boomers for stocks. We just gonna go stocks. It's this dark one, 10%, Gen X, 11%, millennials, 8%, Gen Z, 14% stocks. You know what I mean? And a 9%, 60-40. You feel me? That's what I'm saying. Of course, younger people's appetite for risk could moderate as they grow older. Says Manny, who's 33. My financial needs are not complex when it comes to taking risks. It's only me I have to worry about. And I know I have another 30 or 40 years of working, then 20s or 30s years living beyond that. As a Gen Z millennial take on responsibilities, they are likely to become a lot more sensitive to risk. Yep. Let's see. What else it said? Okay. So precisely. So Gen Z, my generation, I'll say millennials as well, we're going to be receiving a lot of this money. Now you saw Gen X too, but they're not as risk averse right now. The Gen X, they're approaching retirement. They want more conservative. You know what I mean? Millennials, they still got time on their hands, be a little bit more risk. They're more, familiar with investing in stocks and then trading assets. And then you got Gen Z, which is my generation. I grew up on Robinhood pretty much. Like that's what got me into investing. And the majority of Gen Z millennials are on Robinhood. So my thought process is I'm gonna capitalize off of this. Now, I was already investing in Robinhood currently. For a little minute, just because I've used the platform. I love the UI design. I like how fast they ramp products out. I like the exposure to Bitcoin and crypto a little bit. I like the exposure to the great wealth transfer. That's my biggest, one of my top 3 theses right now is this wealth transfer, bro. Like I can see Robinhood becoming a $1 trillion company eventually in the long term. And not only that, you got the Trump accounts too. Like now I'm getting bullish myself. I might want to buy some more. I already got a somewhat built out position, but I might want to add a little more. But yep. So I'm gonna dive into that a little after. But currently Robinhood is my hedge. Not really my hedge, it's how I'm gonna capitalize off of the great wealth transfer. Essentially, because if millennials and Gen Z are going to be inheriting a lot of this wealth over the next 20 years, 30 years or so, what platforms are we on? We're on Robinhood and I say Robinhood. We're on Robinhood. So let me share. Okay, cool. So right here, there's one article just to back up my thesis. ARK Invest says that they agree too. And this was published November 3rd, 2025. So end of 2025. So not too long ago. But just to further back up my thesis, the great wealth transfer over the next few decades, a record-shattering 124 trillion in assets will transfer from baby boomers to their heirs, including millennials and Gen Z. During this transfer, wealth will shift from an analog cohort shaped by branch visits, advisor relationship to digital, digital natives. Like this is what we on. Robinhood has a structural advantage with nearly twice the number of millennials and Gen Z accounts as Vanguard, one of the top big boys, and almost 4 times the number at Schwab, as shown below. Indeed, 63% of Robinhood users are millennials and Gen Z, compared with only 14% at Schwab. In other words, nearly 60% of Schwab customers are baby boomers today. Boom, right there. Robinhood, total millennial and Gen Z funded accounts by platform. You know, so like, ooh, this is good. Estimated 124 trillion wealth transfer by asset class. So what's the biggest ones? $40 with the gray. You got real estate, and then what's the purple? Equities and mutual funds. You got, and then the third one is retirement accounts. So your 401ks, your IRAs, your pensions. But the biggest is equities and mutual funds and real estate. You know, so what does that go to show you? Equities more. We're going to be invested in stocks more. We're going to invest in companies. And now that AI is, and now that AI is like, we're in an inflection point of productivity gains currently right now. Companies don't need to hire as many people. Their margins are going to start expanding more because they don't need as much labor. For example, Amazon. That's some time away, but their margins their productivity is increasing while their margins are increasing as well. So it's having an ROI on their business. So if the younger generation, millennials and Gen Z are going to be inheriting 50, y'all saw 50 real estate, 50 or something like equities. So let us say just equities. We're not even talking real estate because it's all Robinhood. That equity is coming to us. And what platform do we have? We have Robinhood. So all those assets are going to be brought online to Robinhood. And then now they have the family planning. That's a little deeper. But now they have the family accounts where you can manage accounts. You can start a custodial account for your family. You can get interest rates. You can get interest rates loans, mortgage rates loans on there. I saw some rates that I'm thinking of refinancing for my property on there, cheaper than the market right now. And it's really my all-in-one asset app. I can see my net worth now. They added that in there. So this is my thesis. Like, that's why I'm investing in Robinhood so much. And it's currently a decent sized position in my portfolio. I don't make this too long of a video. But, and the last thing I'm just going to nail the hammer on real quick is the Trump accounts that this administration is trying to do right now. And that's going to be even bigger, like super buy. See, I'm getting bullets. I need to buy. Now I want to buy. Dang, where did I put it at? Oh no, it's right here. Now I want to buy. I want to buy some more shares. I want to buy some more shares right now. Okay, let me share this real quick. So right here. Robinhood wants to capture the next generation of investors before they can crawl. March 6, 2026, Yahoo Finance article. Speaking directly to President Trump at White House Summit, the Trump Accounts Initiative, Robinhood CEO Vlad said the trading platform is ready to support the program. Trump Accounts is an initiative functions as a form of baby bonds. Under the plan, every child born between 2025 and 2028 is eligible for a $1,000 seed investment contribution. The program, often described as Invest America, is slated to launch in July. While the policy aims for societal buy-ins, the practical reality is windfall for the platform that hosts these accounts. By positioning itself as a primary partner, Robinhood is attempting to secure a lifelong pipeline of customers. Who is Robinhood's top users? Millennials and Gen Z. On Friday, the firm price is Robinhood in the close. While the fund aimed to democratize high-growth private assets, the market's appetite was cooler than expected. Robinhood raised approximately $650 million, of a significant sum, but well short of its $1 billion target. The fund, which now exchange, arrived at a time. So, if 1,000 for every baby born, how many babies are born? Hey Siri. How many babies born a year on average? 1.4 billion. That's 1.4 billion in money. And then you got other companies that are looking to match. Dell, they're matching 1,000. All to say, the great wealth transfer is coming. Hope y'all got some information from this video. And take heed. I'm just showing y'all what I'm doing. My supporters, my people that watch the videos, or if you're looking to subscribe, I'm just showing y'all what I'm doing and how I can take to capitalize off of each sector of the American greatness. You know what's coming up. We live in America. We're a capitalist society. What can I tell you? But this is what I'm doing. As y'all can see right here on my Blossom profile, link in bio. Link in bio. Let's see. Robinhood right there under Nebius is roughly 8% of my portfolio right there. It was more than that, but it fell. It fell this past year. It fell almost 50%. So in all honesty, if this is an investment you're looking to get into, there's not financial advice. I would say, I say take a look at Robinhood, do your research on it, and tell me what you see. But it's almost down 40%. It was $150 to start not too long ago. We peaked at 150 and it's down, pretty much chopped in half. I might buy back in. I'm not gonna lie. I got a decent sized position right now, but I'm even more bullish right now. I'm even more bullish. That's why the more you do research, the more bullish you get on your companies, because you just keep reinforcing your thesis. But J Rush TV, hope y'all got some value from this. We out.